Hello, I'm Minna from The Foolish Couple, founder of the Focal Academy, business consultant and transformation coach. Last week, my husband Andy talked about the 5 ways on how a man can be a better husband. And he's got a lot of responses and comments from, a lot of women, wives, and they loved it. So this week, I'm going to flip this around and talk about the 5 ways to be a better wife. Now, I'm not saying I'm the perfect wife. In fact, I'm pretty far from it. But my mistake is a lesson to you. And I've made a lot of mistakes in the past 30 years that we've been together. When we first moved from Canada to San Francisco, Andy had just sold his business and I had just landed my new consultant job here. So he became the house husband while I went out to work. And throughout my career, I've worked on many different projects for companies of all sizes and a wide variety of industries. One thing that is common though, at least for what I do, is that there is way more men than women in my teams. So as time goes by, I learn to be more like a man in the workplace, and that's okay for work. But what happens is that I have all this male masculine energy inside me that I bring home with me. And I think some of you may have a similar experience. Modern day women tend to be more aggressive, more driven, more outward spoken. We're independent women. We're more competitive. And we're more like a man at the workplace. And this changes our energy. I'm not saying that we are looking more masculine, but we certainly are behaving more masculine and demonstrating more of the masculine male energy. And that serves us well at work, giving us a level playing ground, and we tend to do really well at work. But then when we go home, we forgot to turn off that energy. We forgot that our role is different at home. At work, we are an employee, a manager, or director, or whatever your position is. We have objectives and deadlines, and we fight for promotions and bonuses. But at home, we have a very different role. At home, we are a wife, a woman, a mother. We're supposed to be nurturing, warm, understanding, and strong, but also soft, wise, and also respectful. And when we forget to turn off our male energy, we tend to clash at home. Nobody wants to bring his or her boss home, and you shouldn't behave like a boss at home. Don't manage your husband and kids. You're not a manager. You should love them, guide them, and support them. So the first thing is, let the feminine energy shine. I wrote down feminergy, just a short for feminine energy. So while Andy says that man should man up, from where I stand, women should be more like a woman. My mentor once told me that everyone needs at least 5 hugs a day to stay positive and feel loved. So hug him, snuggle, hold his hand when you go out together. Show him that you love him. When I first got married, I had no idea how to cook. Cooking to me seems messy and difficult and inconvenient. I managed to get through college with instant noodles and mac and cheese from a box. And Andy likes to cook, so I just let him. But eventually I started to help him with some prepping work. He taught me how to cut vegetables without actually chopping my fingers off. I tend to be a little clumsy. But after a while, it doesn't seem so difficult at all. I still have no idea how to bake a cake, but I can now make a pretty decent meal. And cooking nowadays is actually getting easier. Just within the last couple of years, there are a few startup companies that is delivering food to you. I'm not talking about cooked meals from restaurants. These companies would pack raw food together according to portion sizes and include simple cooking instructions that require very basic kitchen tools and almost no cooking skills at all. So it is actually easier to cook healthy, tasty meals for your family at home nowadays. And if you'd rather do it yourself, well, we may be able to help you with that too. Just make sure you're on our mailing list and we will keep you posted. The second thing for husband's love is intimacy. Learn to be a little more intimate. We have been married for 19 years, and before that we dated for another 11 years. So we've literally been with each other for 30 big years. And somewhere along the line, things can get boring. All you do every day is to go to work, come home, watch TV, and that gets old fast. There's nothing to keep the romance, that fire burning between the two of you, and eventually that fire will burn out. If you want a better relationship, something that has flair, something that is fulfilling and delicious and intimate, then you must have an element of surprise. Without any surprises, your relationship becomes mundane, is boring, and is repetitive. So think about some ways to give him a pleasant surprise. Plan a surprise trip with him, just the two of you, and don't bring your kids or don't bring your laptop. Or even just a night out where you can dance and eat and maybe just talk. Better yet, get some sexy lingerie. It's not being sexist or anything like that. It's just something to induce romance back to your relationship. Something we take our husbands and our relationships for granted. We just assume that he is going to be with us forever, even though we're not putting in any effort into it. And we all know that things don't work that way. If you don't plant the seeds and keep watering and fertilizing it, you don't get the crops. So think of something fun together at least once a month. Spend some time together, spend some quality time together. Be playful, be spontaneous, make him happy. Because when he's happy, you will be happy too. The third thing is don't beat around the bush. Stop hinting. Now recently there's a really popular YouTube, I think it's an audio clip that came up and it was actually quite interesting. It is basically one audio clip with two different words spoken at the same time. But some people hear the word Laurel and the other people would hear the word Yanni. He heard Laurel, he heard Yanni and I heard Laurel. Only 2% of the population would actually hear both words at the same time. How does that work? Well, I don't really know scientifically, but then I heard from one of my consultants the other day that he is medically diagnosed that by his hearing doctor that he could not hear the female voice frequency. Now I feel sorry for his wife but what I'm saying is people hear different things. We can't assume what we hear is what they hear, and worse yet, we definitely cannot assume that our husbands can read our minds. So we're on to day 3 of our 5 ways to be a better wife. And this one is a classic. We've all seen it in sitcoms and movies, and yet we keep doing it. What is it? Hint, hint. It is hinting. Man does not take hints. They don't get it, they don't hear it, they are physically incapable of getting any types of hints that you throw at them. It doesn't matter if they're subtle hints, obvious hints, they just don't hear it, they don't see it, they don't get it. You hear Laurel, they hear Yanni. If you want something, just tell them. If you need them to do something for you, ask them nicely. If you want them to celebrate your birthday, remind them and tell them how you want to celebrate. Men are happy to oblige, but you've got to tell them what you want. They're not going to spend time trying to figure out what's going on inside your head. Now I know that I say in our first video that don't bring your male energy home, but this isn't about energy. If you are at work and you want something done, would you throw hints to your coworkers or team members? No, of course not. You clearly state what you want done. The same goes with your husband. Stop playing the mind reading games. You will be disappointed every time. Just state clearly what you want, how you want it done, and he would help you get it done. The fourth thing is to be grateful. As a woman, we tend to be very apologetic. We say sorry a lot even though we haven't really done anything wrong. And I've often given advice to many women to stop saying sorry to everything. Like, I'm sorry, but I think you may be wrong. I'm sorry, but you're in my parking spot. I'm sorry, but you spilled coffee on my shirt tonight. Stop being apologetic. Instead, do this. Have gratitude. Be thankful. Be thankful that you have a loving husband. Be thankful that he is helping you with the kids. Be thankful that he is helping around the house. Here's what I want you to do. Start a gratitude journal. I don't care if it's a notebook or a file on your laptop. Oprah says it works, and it does work. Every day, before you go to bed, write something in the journal that day that you're grateful for about your husband. It could be something that he helped you with, or maybe that he spent 20 minutes listening to you complaining about your boss. If you do this for 2 weeks, it will change your perspective about your relationship with your husband. You don't believe me? Give it a try and prove me wrong. And the last and most important one is to love and support him for what he is. In the past few years, we've seen quite a few couples breaking up. And I gotta say, we saw it coming. One common thing that both Andy and me notice is that the wife tends to yell at the husband in public. Restaurants, shopping malls, parking lots, somewhere that's public, where there's a lot of people, they can all hear your arguments. And these wives, they just kept yelling at the husbands as if there's nobody else around. And as the friends, I feel embarrassed and I feel sorry for the husbands. Nobody likes to be yelled at, especially in public, especially not with someone they love. Not children, not teenagers, not your husband. Nobody ever likes to be yelled at in public. It doesn't matter what the situation is. There's always a way to express your feelings without the yelling, without the tone. Good communications is not only about the words, but also about the tone and the timing. So if you're one of those that likes to yell in public, well, you work on it. Work on your gratitude journal. Be respectful not only to your husband, but also to the people around you. Better yet, speak positively about him. Remember why you fell in love with him. When you speak positively about him, subconsciously, it also tells you to be more positive about your relationship with him, and he will notice the difference. Last thing before I wrap this up, be supportive about his dreams and goals. You are the closest person to him, and your support means the world to him. He may want to take some risk, make some changes in some aspect of his life, and you are his anchor. You give him the confidence to take the risk and pursue his dreams. So be supportive. And that's it. If you have not signed up for our newsletter or podcast yet, make sure you sign up now. We'd love to hear your comments below and share it if it touches you or someone you love. Until next time, love what you live and live what you love.